So I saw a past life image of me standing on top of a pile of bodies with blood soaking through my hands around a katana. And I remember screaming, how could one man do this? And then I started realizing I'm living in my past lives when I should be living in my path life. What's my path? My path is created by my past. And that was the first time I've been able to actually see that. That was the LSD, and my life has changed since that moment. My biggest journey I ever had, which was last year, maybe a year and a half ago, needed to really unlock some stuff, needed to really, break down some darkness that I had that was residual from something in the past. Plus, my father just died, and that messed me up pretty bad. Still does.
Sorry to hear that.
Greatest hero of my life, and all of a sudden it's gone.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait a minute. And I don't know why, I just struggle with it. I just did a podcast with a good friend of mine, Mark England. He's a mindset coach and breath coach, and he helped me unlock that problem. It was my dad's helped so many more millions of people than I could ever possibly fathom helping. And when he left, I wanted to celebrate him. My family didn't want to celebrate my father. And so I did this podcast with Mark, and he did a 4-step process on me to help me slow the story down in my head. Because like we get high and tight, going back to kind of the PTSD a little bit and some of the things that we hold on to. It's in our chest. We're trapped in our chest. And if we can't unlock that breath, we can't switch from being high and tight because we don't know what it's like to be low and slow in our breath. That's going to get you. So a lot of these guys need to learn to unlock that before they go on a journey. So we would even do massive breath work stuff. That's where the cold water comes into play, to really get somebody to take it seriously. And then we have them dial on their breath, and then we'll start educating them on what we're going to be doing at this point in time. So like on my last one, it was like 7 grams of psilocybin, which is what they consider a hero's dose.
Mm-hmm.
And then that wasn't working.
I think 5 grams is considered a hero's dose.
5 is hero. 7 is a warrior's dose.
Shit.
That's right. So I did 7. So I did a warrior's dose, and that wasn't working for me. It was taking me on a journey, but this is where the coaches come into play. We had UFC movement fighting coaches there, so we fight all night long as well on the medicine. We go through the mountains, through Bryce Canyon, and run through the snow and the mud, and barefooted and just silkies, man. And you're like, how are we out here living for 4 hours in nothingness? It's just like it's a different world of mindset, And so then that wasn't working for me. So they said, hey, he needs divine masculine. So they dropped in some more, and that was the LSD, and my life has changed since that moment. More so than any other experience.
What changed?
The ability to see myself, my past life, which is what I've been living in. Not necessarily a past life, even though I saw some pretty gory, like the most real combat I've ever seen in my life. My hands hurt so bad the next day.
Hold on. When you say a past life, are you saying a past life, or like,
right, that's
my previous career is a forced reconnaissance Marine?
So both. So I saw a past life image of me standing on top of a pile of bodies with blood soaking through my hands around a katana. And I remember screaming, how could one man do this? And that scared the shit out of me. Then my past life started coming.
Why did that scare you?
I don't know.
What did you think
Still
it was?
working
How
that
did
out.
you process that?
I felt like I was just a murderous. It was the most real. I don't know what it's like to be in a sword fight, but I was like, now I know what it's like to be in a sword fight after that experience, that vivid, like just real screaming. They had to hold me down at times. They had to put a buffalo hide blanket over me and pin me down to try to just calm. And they're very good. They know when to speak and when to be in there and when to kind of touch you and just kind of make you calm back down. And I could see then my current life, past life, being in combat, family, traumas, death, everything. And then I started realizing I'm living in my past lives when I should be living in my path life. What's my path? My path is created by my past. And that was the first time I've been able to actually see that. It's the first time I've been able to breathe through with coaching and hearing, my best friend Byron going, ride the exhale, ride the exhale. And by seeing all of that, again, showed me who I was and what I was living in and where I should have been living. And so now every day I wake up, I will think about what is my path moving forward, not reminiscing on my past and or worrying about something, being in fear of my past and having anxiety for my future. And that's like the now concept. Everybody understands the now concept. Everything happens right now in this moment, in this time. It's not my dad's time anymore. It's not my ancestors' time anymore. It's like the problem with our country. When's somebody going to step up? It's you. It's your time. And hopefully many moons from now, our grandchildren will be reading about the history that we created in this country to keep it free, to keep the world free. So those are things that I couldn't really see a whole lot. And now I'm seeing a whole clearer message about what do we do moving forward. It's not about what I did. That doesn't define me. My traumas don't define me. My childhood traumas don't define me. What I'm doing right now does.
What do you believe happens when you die?
I think I'm still trying to figure that one out. Now, not to say I'm not a man of spirit or a man of God, because I am.
Are you a Christian?
I am. I was raised Catholic. It's kind of funny. I went to Catholic school, didn't really get along with because I went to Jewish Community Center after Catholic school, which my sister hated. And so it was this conflict, and I got caught saying Hail Marys in Yiddish one day, and they kicked me out of school. Because the JCC guy, I think his name was Tommy, big old jolly fat guy, drives up in this little Volkswagen van and picks me up every day from Catholic school. And Sister Pat would just stand there with her, her nun suit on and just scowl at this dude. And he would teach me, to speak a little Yiddish. And he taught me Hail Marys in Yiddish. And I was I got a math problem wrong one day in Catholic school. And she's like, go to Mother Mary and do your Hail Marys. So I'm out there, I'm doing them, and all of a sudden I feel this ruler on my shoulder. It was like old school Catholic, ruler stuff, and parents came in, and that didn't work out too well. So then my mom's like, well, maybe Christian school would be a better thing. So she sends me to Christian school, and that was good, and that was good. I got in a fight with the teacher about dinosaurs one time because I went outside and grabbed a fossil, and she said, well, that's because the government put those fossils there to make you think dinosaurs are real. And I'm like, don't they talked about beasts in the Bible? So I was confused. And then I brought a link of 20 millimeter shells from my dad's Air Force time as a pilot. And they kicked me out of school for show and tell. I guess you're not allowed to have live rounds in school. So anyways, I've studied religion. I've really tried to make a habit of it. I've been to some big universities, went to Cornell to study the Promised Land, Judaism, and the Palestinian conflict. Really started diving into the Quran and reading it and trying to understand it, and then even played with Buddhism for a little while to understand, not to practice, and to realize, well, what are people's motives and intentions? Because you know how it is, man. We're young and dumb. We're in the military. Go here, do this. Mm-hmm. You don't know anything about the people. You never were really given good intel. And so I wanted to try to change that in my life. So for my kids that are growing up, if they decide to serve, which they are, I can educate them from a different place than what the education I got. And I think that's important for people to realize. Because look how many Muslims that we would trust our lives to. We have. Yep. We've had best friends, man. Look at this freaking Afghani pullout, man. Like how many dudes on some of those teams that, you know the story there. But there's a misconception.
I'm curious how, if you love talking about these, going down these rabbit holes, but if you're a Christian, then what I'm curious about is how do you tie in multiple lives in different time periods?
And that's where I wouldn't consider myself the most diehard Christian in that regard. Mm-hmm. I would say that there's definitely an afterlife. and that was what we would consider heaven. Some people would consider that the next density. Like we're in a density right now, just like rocks and plants are in a density and animals are in a density. We're in the next density, and the next density we move on to is a higher self. That's heaven.
No matter where you're watching Shawn Ryan Show from, if you get anything out of this, please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, share this everywhere you possibly can. And if you're feeling extra generous, please leave us a review on Apple and Spotify podcasts.